Okay, well, welcome back again. We're glad to see you. Those of you who walked in, when I was talking, that's because it's first Sunday, and you may not know, because for some reason it's not well known, that on the first Sunday of every month, there's a talk, usually by the other main teacher here, Harvey, or myself. 10:30. So the talk begins at 10:30, and then we always have a meditation that begins at 11, to which you're always welcome. Everyone is always welcome. So that's what you walked in on. You walked in on that talk. And it's being recorded thanks to these great beings. And actually everything we do is online. So if you didn't manage to get up in time on some Sunday and you wanted, you can get it later as a recording. So I want to just a couple minutes here to explain a little bit about what we do here and how it relates to your question. And I've been talking to a couple of students and learned that you have learned what Mahayana is. So I just want to say a little something about that and explain. So there's three really important things. Buddhism develops, is it okay? Not okay? You'd think it would be easy, right? Is that all right? Not perfect? Perfect. Okay. Excellent. The middle way. Not too high and not too low. Not too close, not too far away. Middle way. That it becomes a theme in Buddhism, especially for what's called the Mahayana, the great vehicle, as it's sometimes called, or the big boat, apparently people discuss now. So this evolves when there becomes to be a more and more magnificent. So Buddha in the early days was considered, a really great being, but a human being. And gradually the idea of what a Buddha is becomes more and more phantasmagoric, cosmic. Buddha is omniscient. Buddha can appear many places at the same time. Buddha knows everything, being omniscient, that's going on. And above all, a Buddha has endless compassion. And we're going to sing an expression of that compassion in a moment when we start, saying that basically saying, as long as there is suffering anywhere in the universe, I want to be there to help. He said that when he was born. I'm here to help. So this idea that one could continuously be active in the world out of compassion was a new idea. It was a new idea in Buddhism, and it was also something new, different than what had occurred in the Hindu traditions. This explicit idea that anyone, could become awake in the same way that Buddha was awake. So anyone can become a Buddha. That's the Mahayana idea. That's big news. So Buddha is not just some kind of distant movie star. It's like finding out that you too can star in a Steven Spielberg movie. Everyone can. So when Ananda he really did three things in his retreat. He cultivated, in that moment, that magic moment, one moment contained a fruition of his focused attention. He was just looking and seeing what he was. It was also a moment of impelled by his great compassion, his wish to help. So that gave a certain richness. It wasn't like, oh, let's see, am I an arhat or not? And it wasn't just for his own pride. It was fueled by this compassion and intention. Let's see what's going on here. So he had good behavior, what we call ethics. But literally the word means a kind of discipline. He had been disciplined. He had been meditating very, very diligently. And he also saw through the ignorant, really asleep kind of projection that he had on himself, like, I gotta work to become an arhat. And finally, it was just, I'm just going to be here in the now, and I realize I'm not. And that opened up all of his possibility. He was no longer tied by hope or fear, and that created a great expansion in his experience, which meant that he was an arhat. Now, those three things of concentration, good behavior, good intention, and wisdom, these become the three main trainings in the Buddhist tradition. And what's different, they use different language. Whereas Hindus say we want to realize the soul, the true Atman, you know that word, high school students? Atman. Which is really not self in an ordinary sense at all, but it gets translated as this word self. And the Buddhists said, no, we want to realize, they said, no, you guys are doing the same old thing. You're putting a frame around, you're reifying self with this word Atman. Now that's what the Buddhists said. I'm not saying that's what the Hindus were actually doing, right? But the Buddha said that's too freeze-framed. We have to realize that there's no Atman, Anatman. So they talk about freedom from being something that being, you as a being, as something that could in any way be captured by a name. No, it's too free, it's too open for that. We're not encumbered by our names, or by any characteristic at all. That's all I can say right now, but we can talk a little bit later if you like, or be in touch, or as you wish. So why do we do the practice? So the book that's going around is also an expression of particularly the good intentions with which we begin, and we'll begin by singing a little bit, or singing our good intentions. So before we start a practice, even if it's just a practice of 1 minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes, as you might have time for in your life, we take a moment to feel, may this be helpful for everyone. And if we have time, that's a whole meditation unto itself, love and compassion, which we will talk about as time goes by. So then we do our practice, and then at the end we close, again saying, may this practice that I just did, which I intended to be of benefit to all, may it be a benefit. Just like that. And so we pass the book around so that you can write down the names of people in your life who you would particularly like to benefit. Maybe they're sick, maybe they just died, maybe you're under a lot of stress and you write your name, but it's not an attendance sheet, it's the names of people that you want to pray for. So that's what's going around. So as I said, we will begin with this very traditional chant, and then we'll quiet down. And then there'll be instructions as we go, okay? So, do you have your yellow sheet you're going to share as part of your good intention? Okay. Well, this is our wish for everyone. Everyone. Whether we like them or not, whether they like us or not, whether we know them or not. This is our wish for all beings. Because all beings want to be happy. May all beings always have happiness and its causes. May all beings always be free of pain and its causes. May all beings always be pain-free and live happily. May no beings ever cling to those near nor spurn those far. For as long as space abides, as long as the world remains, just so long may I be there, resolving all beings' pain. And with that good intention, Let yourself relax. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to accomplish. Our only intention is just to be here in this moment, waking up from the ongoing cycle of tugs, memories from the past, hopes or fears for the future. Let it go. There's nothing you can do about any of that now, in any case. There will be time. You will get up, you will leave, you will take care of whatever you need to attend to. But this moment is a complete oasis for you. Let go as you are able. Allow yourself to let go of any plans, of any hopes. Really, as much as possible, let go of any doing. There's nothing to do right now. There is the possibility of being. We are human beings. But stress turns us into human doings. I have to do this, I have to do that, but not now. So let yourself settle. Feel the contact of your body with your seat. Just let yourself feel that. It's simple. Feel some kind of support, don't you? Actually, you feel contact, something stable beneath you. And emotionally, we translate that into a feeling of being supported. You're being held. You're held by your seat, and your seat is held by the great seat of this great earth. Your seat is deep. If you were to drop down beneath your seat, letting your awareness just easily travel beneath this building in a straight line, descending like a plumb line from the bottom of your spine, you would reach the center of this earth. It is directly beneath you. It is always directly beneath you. It's a lot of support. Whenever you feel stressed, you can take a moment to remember that you are being held, you are being supported from the center of the earth. You can feel it. It's real. It's not a story. You can feel the contact with your seat. Feel it. Don't say think about it. Feel into it. Feel into that support. Because this is a wormhole into exactly this present moment. You're here, you're sensing. And within being relaxed, you are also clear, relaxing into a kind of upright clarity so that your back is rising strong, not stiff. It's natural curve to your back, but it's rising freshly upright. And your chin, you can even take your hand and tuck your chin in just a little bit. You do it. Yeah, and feel. What do you feel when you do that? You can feel there's a kind of lengthening and strengthening of the upright flow, which is natural to the human body. So your neck is long, and you may find it a little easier to relax your shoulders a bit. We hold a lot of tension in our shoulders. always at computers. Or like Ananda, you might say, I'm not relaxed. And that's okay. That's wisdom. That's knowing the truth of your situation right now. Maybe relaxation will arise. You can feel that your cheeks are relaxed, or at least invite relaxation. Some of us hold tension around the mouth. You may find that you're gritting your teeth even. So just notice that in a friendly, kindly way. And relaxation might show up. Shoulders, your hands, fingers relaxed, not clenched. Yeah, it's good. And of course, thoughts of the past and the future come, but what's different now is that you don't get on them and gallop away with them. You let them float by like a gentle stream or a roaring river. In any case, they just flow by. They will go off. They will dissolve. They have no real substantiality. Why should you let them boss you around so much? Now, you are becoming masterful, not overtaken by every thought that comes your way. But your mind likes to focus on something, not in the way of doing, but in the way of being. You are breathing. Let your attention be present, sensing your experience of breathing. Rest your attention on the breath. Breath is also a teaching of impermanence. It's moving. You can feel it come in. What do you feel? Maybe you feel your chest expand. If your belly is relaxed, sensation of energy coming in goes all the way down to your belly, and that feels good. It's another way of encouraging relaxation, letting your belly relax. And so you're filled up with energy, good energy, beautiful energy, life-giving energy has come in. And then when you've used its essence, you exhale. What does that feel like? It's a teaching on relaxation, natural relaxation of letting go, letting your breath out. That letting go, you can do the same with thoughts. When they come, just let them go. Relax with your breath. It's nice to breathe. It's nice to breathe and just be present to those sensations. This is the pulse of your life, and we pay so little attention to it. So whenever a thought comes and you realize that you've been distracted from your intention of focusing on your breath, that is an awakening. You have woken up to your own distraction at that moment, and you just return to your breath. Doesn't matter how many times, maybe it's 10, 15 times a minute. It's a very good practice, and you have all those awakenings in that minute. You know what it is to wake up to your distraction. Direct your attention back to your breathing. Especially the inhalation is an invitation to your attention. You can feel that, right? Just feel it. You don't have to write a paper about it. Just feel it. Let yourself relax. Relaxing more and more into clarity. And being kind to yourself is very, very important. You may find that one of your greatest sources of distraction and distress is actually self-judgment. I'm not doing this right. Everybody else is doing it better. I didn't do well last week. I'm not a good person. I'm not as smart as my neighbor. I'm not as popular. All of these thoughts that we have. But they're just thoughts, and they're not helpful. So one of the main things we learn through this practice of intending to be present to our breathing, we learn the kinds of ruminations that will show up and that will take over if we let them. Studies have shown that a distracted mind is usually ruminating about something unpleasant. I did this wrong. They said this to me. Things never work out. It's not helpful. Doesn't bring happiness. So by being able to wake up to those distracting judgmental thoughts, you can in one moment wake up, come back to an even flow of your attention, and be kind to yourself at the same time. Just takes a lot of practice. It takes months and years, but you can notice when you get into self-judgment, even very subtly, self-criticism, shame, all that. And see if you can let it go. Wake up to the possibility that you can direct your attention to your breathing. Those thoughts will dissolve. They have no staying power. So you're feeling your in-breath. Maybe your belly has relaxed enough so it goes all the way down to your belly. And then you exhale, and you feel the natural relaxation. And any moment you notice you're distracted, wonderful. That's an awakening. Come back to your breath. It's always there for you. Nobody's keeping score. This is so not about keeping score. This is just about being present. Nothing to do. Let it all go. Just feel your breath. Because it's there and you can feel it. This is a path to attention, to kindness, and to the wisdom of knowing that your thoughts are not you. They do not own you. There's a deeper ocean of presence that you can experience. Everyone can experience. So one thing that became important as the Mahayana developed in India and went to Tibet, and this is a Tibetan element of our practice that we're going to do now, It's another way of addressing the tendency we all have to be distracted. Using sound. Human beings love sound. We love music. So we're going to sound the sound Hong. And Hong is an ancient sound from India, from Tibet, and it's valued because it's a gathering sound. When you say Hong, there's a natural kind of collecting that occurs. So it is a very easy antidote to distraction, as music is in general. So you're going to sound Hong Hong twice at your own pace, everyone at your own pace with your exhalation. And see what your experience is. Sound has a vibration. You may feel that vibration in your body. You're going to hear your own voice. You're going to hear the voices of everyone in the room. We're all creating this Hung together. So see how that affects your ability to let go and be present. We'll do that for a few minutes, then we'll go back to silence. Can just melt into the sound. Can let go of all that. Take a little break. Is it hard to sit still? Kind of is, isn't it? If you're not used to it. Yeah. I'll let you get up in a minute. You have a question or a comment? If you do, you can come up and tell me, and maybe I can just say something about it if it seems like it's useful to people. You can stretch. You can sit here. You can stand up.
I ask precious three gems from deep in my pained heart. See me with compassion. I have no other hope. This dear human body, impermanence besets. Do you not fear your death, good and faithful student? The five skandhas gather and disperse who knows when. Heartily think on death, good and faithful student. Karma never deceives, so give up wrongful thoughts. Engage Dharma wholly. I ask precious three gems from deep in my pained heart. See me with compassion. I have no other hope. This dear human body, impermanence besets. Do you not fear your death, good and faithful student? The five skandhas gather and disperse who knows when. Heartily think on death, good and faithful student. Karma never deceives, So give up wrongful thoughts, engage Dharma holy.
Just recognizing what goes on in our minds on a daily basis. Sometimes it's often said we feel like our minds are getting worse when we meditate, but the good news, bad news is they're not getting worse. That's how they are. And you are noticing it. It does change. There's still people in the hall. Anything else? So it's a little hard. So it takes patience. And I think what makes it very hard is if you get into self-judgment about it. It's hard in the sense that, you have to attend to and bring your mind back again, right? But if you have, and I don't know anybody who doesn't, some kind of script in your mind, like I should be doing this better, I'm not doing well, I'm a bad meditator. I teach sometimes at RISA 1 hour a week contemplative practicum, we call it. And the first week, everybody writes and says, I can't do this, it's terrible, I'm terrible, I can't do it. And I say what I'm saying to you, that's bravo. You're seeing actually what goes on in your mind. And having seen it, that can shift. And in 3 or 4 weeks, they're writing that they think they're enlightened. They do, but they say, it's really very touching and kind of amazing, but they do say that, now I get it. I'm making things more difficult for myself, not just meditation, but many other things more difficult for myself because I notice, once you notice that you're distracted, you can notice what you're doing when you're distracted. And you can notice if part of what you're doing when you're distracted is saying bad things about yourself, to yourself. It's, as Harvey says, it's the common cold of mental health. A tremendous amount of self-criticism is very common. It maybe doesn't afflict you, I don't know, but it's very common. And that, I think more than anything, may drive people away from just trying to be with their breath, because there's so much self-recrimination, either about that or about all the other things in your life that you think you could have done better. And that's very hard to sit with, So it takes, using Ananda, it takes a certain kind of, there has to be a kind of orientation toward kindness towards yourself. You're not watching your breath in order to get clearer about everything you ever did wrong and which you wish had gone differently in your life. This will occur, it may, but that's not the point. So there has to be some kindness. Oh yeah, I goofed up. Well, who hasn't, It's okay. You're not there to fight with yourself. It's very easy to get into a fight with oneself. It's not pleasant. Who wants to sit down and do that? I don't. But this is like a permission, kind of like Ananda. I'm not an arhat. I'm not an A+ student. Okay, but you're alive. You have all kinds of possibilities. So this loving intention that we sang about, that we're going to end with in a few minutes, it's a really important part of the process. It's not just like beat yourself until you can keep your mind on your breath. Thank you for laughing. That's like totally not the point, but you may find that you feel like that. You know, we live in a very competitive culture. Kind of always have to be on your mettle. So on your cushion, you don't have to be on your mettle. You can just be you and invite yourself to wake up to what it feels like to be you. Sometimes it's painful. Okay. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just magical and you don't know why. It's okay too. Doesn't mean you can grab onto it, pocket it, but sometimes there are gifts, right? Ask anybody who's been practicing for a while, or look at your own experience when you're maybe walking in the woods, or it's a beautiful day and you see the sky. There's something, right? There's a moment that you might not appreciate that you just naturally do in that moment. You just kind of let go. Yeah, things are terrible. I have a test next week. I have to figure out my life and my future, and I just got broken up with. And yeah, but in that moment, it's a beautiful day. And something comes forth from within your own experience that's quite lovely and that is not encumbered, even just for that one moment, with the usual hopes and fears and down looking on yourself. It's a moment of freedom. It's a moment of awakening. So if there's one thing I can suggest to you, it is that you recognize and appreciate these moments of awakening that come. You know, the curtain goes up on a beautiful performance. Black Panther shows up on the screen. It's like, oh. You know, we have these moments. You can call them a kind of awakening. You wake up from your ordinary sort of torpor and worry. I'm just saying appreciate it. Recognize it. It's not insignificant. So in order to be able to recognize and appreciate these things, we practice being present to what is going on. And we practice that. We'll do another few more minutes of this. Letting your attention, just invite yourself, okay, the past is done, the future's not here. In this moment, when I feel a contact with my cushion, I'm in the present. I feel my breath. My breath is always in the present. When I'm present to my breath, I'm not worrying about the past or the future. It's kind of relaxing. And my whole mind can open up into that clarity and that relaxation, even if just for a moment. And those moments will become more and more frequent. So come back to your breath. Just see what your experience is. Maybe you're in total rebellion. I can't wait till this is over. Okay, that's fine. Just see what is there. That's the real key. That's the real essential. Just see what is there. Don't identify with it. Don't judge it. But don't push it away either. As you settle into observing your breath, getting interrupted by whatever interrupts that. Waking up, oh, I got interrupted. I'll go back to my breath. I'll begin again. Just continue for 2 or 3 more minutes. So, if your mind is wildly wandering, you can take a moment again to feel the contact and steady support of your seat, the depth of your seat. supported from the center of the earth. Let your breathing go deep into your belly. All of this will tend to ground you, make you feel more stable. If, on the other hand, you're falling asleep, take in a quick, fresh breath, wake you up. You can even feel that you're breathing in bright light. And you can let your eyes be just a little bit open so there's light coming in. Not that you're paying attention to what you see, but there's a sense of freshness and light. And bring your attention to your breath. Feeling the sensations. Feeling the beginning of your inhalation. It's a very clear experience. At some point, your breath is complete, your in-breath. Your chest is expanded. What do you feel when your breath is completely filled you? The inhalation is complete. And then you just know, your body knows this is the moment to let it go, to exhale. So you learn about letting go. You can do the same with thoughts. When you notice them, you can let them go. They can ride away with your exhale. And be kind to yourself. Enjoy whatever moment of waking up to your distraction you experience. It's wonderful. It's fresh. It's true. It's in the moment. Would you do the candle? Thank you. And so now we share all of this good energy and good intention with all beings, and especially with those who you've named here. Okay, 3, 4. Thank you. Those of you who are online with us, we're glad you're here. And we share this with you also. Do you have the... Maybe you don't. Okay. It's a simple phrase. I think I can say it, and then we'll sing it together, okay? Because I don't think everybody has their... With the first lines are, with all of you in mind, we light this lamp of clarity. Okay. With all of you in mind, we light this lamp of clarity. May the glow of love, wisdom shine within us, everyone. May the glow of love, wisdom shine within us, everyone, till we all rise forth, born in one enlightened mandala. Till we all rise forth, born in one enlightened mandala. Within wishing everyone everywhere to awaken, to be free of suffering, to have happiness. Especially we wish this today for Anthony, Greg, Carrie, Randy, Shimon, gunshot victims, Matt and Katie, Marla, Karen, Sean, Charlotte, Ed, Roxanne, Bella, Renee, Doris, Claire, Carrie, Andy and Carolyn, John, Kellett, Norzum in the Bardo, Gabrielle in the Bardo, Jacob Crowder in the Bardo, Figuso, Vasuda and Palash, Vatana, Shravana, Elizabeth, Nancy in the Bardo, Bibi in the Bardo, Mammon, Soon, victims of school shootings, Dominica, Rahim, Gary, Raphael, Julie, Warren, Elaine, Mites, Mary, Adam, Eskimo, Petra, Animals, Bill, Drew, Michael, J.D., Prieto, Marisa Mercado, Laguste in the Bardo, Carrie Shoemake, Michelle Ware, Nancy Ware Cutler, Kobe Wilbanks, Tom Borton, John Pfeiffer Sr., Sadie Burrow, victims of gun violence, Kim, Charlie, and the entire family, Casper. In gathering all those intentions like a ball of light in the center of your heart, we're going to sound the sound Ah, expanding sound and light, and as a way of expressing in visual terms your own good wishes, goes to everybody in the room. We'll do 3 ahs. The first ah to yourself, the second ah, everybody in the room, and by the end of the 3rd ah, you send your good wishes out to the whole planet, to the far edges of space. Because the mind can do that, right? It's easy. to all of space, all beings. All right then. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for being with us. Have a good Sunday. We're here every Sunday at 11. First Sundays at 10:30. Is there any other announcement? What? You can pull up the newsletter. There's also yoga at 9:30 on Sundays, every Sunday. And we have ongoing classes, first Tuesdays, first Thursdays. Everything we do is online. But we really like to see you here. All right. Thank you. Have a good weekend. Be well. Be happy.